So battles are more than just like cool looking in movies and fun to play in video games. They're actually really important for history and they shape our lives. And I want to talk to you guys about three of the most generally accepted battles that are most important for history. I'm not going to focus on the actual battle, but their results and why they're so important for us. So the first of is, it's kind of hard to say, but it's the Battle of Gaugamela, and it's between Alexander the Great and Darius III of Persia. And just a few quick facts about this battle. Alexander becomes king of Macedon at age 19, and he decides to attack Persia. He attacks Persia with 40,000 men. Persia actually has about 250,000 men. So he's the only guy in history to attack somewhere with less troops than the defending force. And for this battle, what he does, he actually goes to the map the night before and he's like, okay, this is gonna happen. And it was pretty much this. He lines his troops up, the Persians attack him, he takes off running the other way, the Persians follow him, he turns back around and attacks the king panics and runs, everybody else runs, he wins the battle. And he does this because his infantry is basically this, just a huge square of people with 12-foot spears. So you can imagine when like hundreds of people are running at you and you have a huge spear, what's going to happen? Well, about 4,000 Greeks die and about 90,000 Persians die in this battle over about 3 hours. And this is important because this ended the Persian threat to Greece, because Persia tried to attack Greece before, if you watch 300. And by ending this threat, it allowed democracy to prosper, which, well, we live in a democracy, so. It also brought the Hellenization of the world, so like the whole world was Greek, pretty much. All the Greek ideas and philosophies, Greek was spoken by everyone. There was free trade and people were able to get together and study everything. And he won. He was king of the world by 25. So there's still hope for me. Now the Battle of Hastings. This was between the Normans, which are technically French, but not really, and the English. And here we have Duke William of Normandy and King Harold of England. And the Normans were kind of Vikings. They settled there like a while ago. And they answered to the King of France, but they were like, you know what, screw you guys. And they decided to attack England. And we're talking about Vikings, which are big, brute people. So pretty much you just have this and a huge mess. And somehow they won. But this is important because the Normans were able to bring feudalism into England. And if you know what that is, well, if you don't know, it's the medieval system where you would have a noble in his castle and people working for him and knights working for him. And that would eventually lead to a rebellion by the nobles because the king had too much power, which led to the Magna Carta, which was the first step towards democracy in the Middle Ages, which would then be used by the Americans here in the colonies, which would spark the Revolutionary War, so on and so on. Also, French was introduced to the English language, which shaped it and made it into Middle English. So, if you're of English descent, you have some French in you. Sorry. Now, the Battle of Stalingrad, which is considered to be the most important battle of all times, because this really shaped World War II. This was when the Russians were able to beat back the Germans and basically win the war. And this was just a massive battle. They had like over 1 million men on each side, and over 1 million men died on each side. It was about 6 months battle. And after this, you see the Germans, they went all the way over there, made this like 2,000-mile front with Stalingrad, Moscow in the middle, and Leningrad up there. And this was really like a moral battle because it was named after Stalin, which was the leader of Soviet Russia. And if the Germans won, it would be a huge defeat for the Russians, and if the Russians won, it would be a huge victory. But they did. And this is important because after that, they just pushed the Germans all the way back to Berlin and allowed for the Allies to invade France. And you know what happens after that? We have the Cold War because Germany's split in half and the world split in half between socialists and capitalists, or democracy, if you will. And, well, we know we won. So, this is a picture from Stalingrad. And this guy, his name is Vasily Zaitsev. If you watch the movie Enemy at the Gates, it's about him. He is like national hero for Russia. He was a sniper. But that's that. And I hope that you now understand that this is more than just, you know, guy stuff. It's actually important, and it shaped who we are today.